Where it gets kind of strange, because you want to say, oh, the police department, they're being irresponsible, they're violating our rights, but the problem is the EULA, the end user license agreement. Like every time you install a new piece of software on your Mac or your PC, you click a EULA. Well, they have to do something similar, and what that EULA says is they're not allowed to talk about the use of a stingray, they're not allowed to disclose the fact that they're using a stingray. In fact, there's a paragraph there that says the FBI has the power to compel a police department to dismiss a complaint about the use of a stingray because it's national security. The FBI doesn't want people to realize that these are being used. It's the worst kept secret in security.
Yeah, that goes back to the Patriot Act. That's why we have to pay attention to that. It's coming up for reauthorization in June, and we'll keep an eye on it here on Tom Dennis.
You do realize how much stuff is being done with that terrorism thing, and they just throw the cloak of terrorism and national security over it. Now it's unreal.
And we're supposed to be okay with it. Well, I'll tell you this, Father. I might be okay with a car that can chauffeur me around, but I don't know yet if I can go on this robo-car. Wow, there's a car that actually did it by itself across the country.
Yeah, there's been a lot of news about Google. Google's got a self-driving car program. At CES in January, the Mercedes had one, and Audi had a car that drove from San Francisco to Las Vegas without human intervention. Well, Delphi, which doesn't even make cars, they make car accessories, they created an autonomous car that drove across the United States. That's 3,400 miles with no input from humans 99% of the time. I mean, it means it's here. We got the technology. It's not possible. It's doable. We just haven't yet accepted the fact that cars can drive better than we can.
It's surprising to me that they could. This is sort of, as you say, not a company dedicated to this whole world, and yet they enter into it and essentially crush the competition. No one else has done this, right?
Right. Now imagine this. 11 years ago, 2004, the DARPA Grand Challenge was the first time that DARPA came out and said, hey, all you smart people, all you engineers, make us a self-driving vehicle. All the experts around the world in robotics and autonomous driving came together, and they could only muster a vehicle that could go 7.32 miles. 11 years later, we have cars that could drive across the country with no humans. So the technology has just exploded. It's not just possible. Frankly, it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. They drove across the country.
Yeah.
Think about all the obstacles, all the things they have to negotiate, all the different kinds of weather.
Well, but you also have to consider the regulatory and the legislative questions that are going to come up. How will we allow this to actually hit the road?
And we'll discuss that next time. Father Robert Balliser, twit.tv, jump on it. And again, maybe save us someday for the Espinoza wedding, should she ever get around to it. Thanks for joining us.
Father.
Yeah. You know something?